Hi, Erin.
Hi, Katrina.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I'm Katrina Krenz. I'm an administrative and marketing assistant with REI, and I called Erin today because she is a safety consultant with REI, and she's overall a disaster planning super nerd, which we could all use a little bit of help with our disaster planning right now as we're in this pandemic. So, Erin, to get us started, can you tell me what's a business continuity plan?
I sure can. Purpose of a business continuity plan is to keep your company operating before, during, and after a disaster or emergency. It should contain information about a company functions like production, payroll, or distribution, resources like equipment, personnel, IT, and also some potential hazards. This plan needs to be written very specific for your company. If a disaster happens, you can't just find another company's business continuity plan online and follow it.
Mhm. Um, REI did put out a resource, a business continuity checklist that could maybe be helpful. So we'll make sure to post that as well with this. Who needs the business continuity plan and why?
Every business really needs to have one, but it is especially critical for small businesses. And I have a statistic for you. 90% of small businesses will fail in the 2 years following a disaster. So preparation is very critical to recovery and continuity of operations.
Definitely. So then what is the COVID-19 response plan and who needs that and why?
Okay, sure. The purpose of that plan is to document what a company has implemented in response to this specific pandemic and what they will do going forward. And it is recommended for any business that has been deemed essential and is open for business.
Okay. What are the basic requirements that need to be addressed in that COVID plan?
Well, we have some guidance that's from the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and this states that the plan should document identification and mitigation measures taken, including engineering and administrative controls and safe work practices. A good example of this would be detailing exactly what your business is doing for sanitation. Like if you're having all common surfaces wiped down several times a day, put that in your plan.
Okay. And then, um, what are some best practices to include in that plan beyond the
The
basic?
best, yeah, the best recommendation I can give is to figure out what you will do if one of your employees at your company tests positive for COVID-19, and then put that in your plan. It's going to be different for every business. It might involve increased cleaning and disinfecting of your facility, and maybe even shutting down for a couple of days to clean. You also need to consider how you will communicate this to employees and possibly even the media, because you definitely don't want bad press from it.
Right. So, how do you think that COVID-19 is going to affect business continuity planning in the future?
Well, this pandemic is really new territory for us. We have seen previous epidemics like SARS in 2002 and the swine flu in 2009, but these didn't have nearly the impact that COVID-19 is having now. Until this pandemic, a lot of the companies focused their business continuity planning for disasters like fire and tornadoes. And now
Mhm.
they're faced with a lot of difficult decisions. We'll probably have to really alter operations just to stay in business.
Yes. And then, in addition to business continuity planning, same question, how is COVID-19 going to affect emergency action planning in the future?
Emergency action plans are actually a really good example of how current events can shape emergency planning. Emergency action plans, or as we call them in the biz, EAPs, are intending to guide employer and employee actions during emergencies. Now, most companies only have specific procedures to follow in the event of common emergencies like a fire, tornado, chemical spill, or medical emergency. But in the last few years, especially in the Wausau area, more companies are starting to include active shooter and bomb threat planning in their EAPs. And I think COVID-19 will have the same effect. More companies will begin to include pandemics in their emergency action plans.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time today, Erin. If anyone has any questions or needs anything, they can, of course, always contact ehs@reiengineering.com. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Erin. Take care.
Thanks, Katrina.